General.
We are discovered.
Good.
Wait!
Guys! It's a trap! Retreat!
Well into his 80s now, Ridley Scott is showing no signs of slowing down, let alone retiring. His track record is astonishing, and not just his glittering CV, including Alien, Thelma and Louise, Blade Runner and the rest. There are his recent films, The Martian, All the Money in the World, House of Gucci and The Last Duel. Say what you like about them, you can't deny their size and their scope. And now Scott takes on an even bigger one, Napoleon.
What is your name?
Napoleon.
Has the course of my life just changed? Napoleon.
I'm destined for greatness. But those in power will only see me as a sword.
Napoleon Bonaparte has defeated some of filmdom's best, it should be said. Stanley Kubrick famously tried and failed to bring to life the unlikely tale of the uneducated Corsican corporal who rose to pretty much conquer the world. It seems to defy organising into a story. How do you tell it?
I'm not built like other men.
Well, Ridley Scott isn't the sort of producer-director to faff about worrying about things like that. Damn the torpedoes seems to be his attitude as he starts with Bonaparte's first victory against his own people, as it happens, the rabble fresh from executing Queen Marie Antoinette.
No doubt you've seen the chaos in the streets. We must make an example, or France will fall.
Napoleon is played by Joaquin Phoenix, no stranger to saturnine, slightly unlikable people like the Joker and the villainous Caesar in Scott's own Gladiator. Like all previous Bonapartes, Phoenix plays him swarthy, humourless and self-centred. Having conquered the streets of Paris, he now takes on the English, who France is at war with, as usual.
What would you do if this assignment of defense was transferred to you?
I promise you brilliant successes.
Returning from the Battle of Toulon, he goes to a victory party in Paris where he catches the eye of a famous courtesan. Vanessa Kirby rather flatters the actual Josephine, who in real life was older than Napoleon and sexy rather than classically beautiful. No matter, Vanessa is still the best thing in this Napoleon.
Everyone around is...
What is this costume you have on?
This is my uniform.
Everyone so near.
I led the French victory at Toulon.
The trouble with any account of the period is it's almost impossible to make sense of it all, particularly the height of the French Revolution. Every week, someone new seemed to be in charge, with the previous incumbent, as often as not, sent to the guillotine.
I suggest you take the throne as a king.
Holding on.
Shall we vote?
Anyone who could survive in such circumstances was not only brilliant, but lucky. And for years, Napoleon was both, a perfect illustration of the famous adage, chaos is a ladder. He was a gifted soldier, and his record speaks for itself. 61 battles, most of them won.
Move along now!
Those in power only see me as a brute, unfit for higher office. But I follow in the footsteps of Alexander the Great and Caesar.
But 61 battles are not, in themselves, the basis of a good story. There's a reason why Napoleon is remembered more for the few campaigns he lost, Trafalgar, Moscow, Waterloo, than the many he won. By trying to cram in as much of the Emperor's story into one movie, Scott ends up driving his audience away.
This vermin has held the world hostage with his egotism and his lack of simple good manners.
At its heart, the story is meant to be that of Napoleon and Josephine, by this account the most important person in his life, even if their relationship appears to be a little opaque. He was clearly besotted with her, but did she love him? Did she even like him much?
Do I need warn you of my indiscretions?
No, madame.
Does where I have been concern you?
No, madame.
In some scenes, he seems to be just the latest of a string of men Josephine uses to survive turbulent times. She famously got pregnant twice in prison to escape the guillotine. But in other scenes, he's the love of her life. And if she treats him like dirt occasionally, well, that's the way he likes it.
You think you're great. You are just a tiny little brute that is nothing without me.
In fact, according to some accounts, both of these may be accurate, but that's no good for a movie, particularly one in desperate need of a solid underpinning like the epic Napoleon. The best we can say about David Scarpa's script is it works hard but falls under the weight of history.
I found the crown of France in the gutter and placed it atop my own head.
Mind you, Napoleon has defeated the best over the years. Even War and Peace struggled to make him believable. It's interesting that Vanessa Kirby is at her best in this film when she's not talking. Those expressive eyes are able to offer a hint of what a Napoleon and Josephine story might have been.
All of Europe is uniting forces against me.
What's the outcome of this if you don't succeed?
And Ridley Scott is at his best when he gives himself limits. This is a biopic that might have worked better if he'd concentrated on a week or a month or just a year in the life of a maddeningly ungraspable anti-hero. How did he do it? I'm not convinced that even the arrogant Napoleon himself knew the answer to that one.
I'm the first to admit when I make a mistake. I simply never do.